You ready?
Yeah.
You look great. All right, I'm gonna let people in.
What is up, everybody? Let everybody get all checked in. Welcome to another Tuesday live. You're on the podcast live with me and Jen right now from Orlando, Florida, live from the BP Con. Okay, Bigger Pockets Convention is going on, and we're gonna spend a little bit of time today. We're gonna make it a shorter one. We've got a lot of things going on inside here. Just share it quick for some of our viewers who are getting to actually see this on our Zoom. I mean, this is the place. When they do it big time. There's probably a few thousand people here. Made a lot of great connections. Listen to a lot of great speakers. There's a ton of vendors here too. I didn't realize they had different like booths set up in the room. There's probably, I would guess, over 100 booths there. And I will say the common denominator is a lot of them are funding, money this. A lot of them are money lenders, right? PropStream has a booth here, so it's good to see some of the folks there. But in most of them, I would say if there's 100, I would say almost 60, 70 of those things are different people lending money. So it seems like that's a hot topic. From what I've gathered, some of these lenders, the real hot spot for them right now are doing like short-term lending, guys. So if you ever need to buy a property with creative finance and you needed 10 grand to close it, 15 grand to close it, lenders are loving those kind of deals right now. So that was kind of cool to find out. But some of the wins, why do we go to meetups? Maybe why you should go to a meetup if you're thinking about it, is for the connections. Just even coming down here, I ran into one of the guys who bought one of our creative finance deals in New Orleans, and he's looking for more. And I just happened, we walk in the hallway, saw each other, said hi. And, just once again, he says, hey, Joe, if you find deals, especially in Florida, like I want those. We're seeing a lot of our current clients and past clients, and that is awesome. We're going to go to Universal tonight. We're going to have a little bit of a meetup, I think, with our clients, get to say hi, get to take the kids to the park. Bigger Pockets has rented out the entire place. So that's going to be super awesome. But this is my favorite thing to do, is when you get around 2,000 investors and you're hearing, there was a women's panel yesterday and they talked about, raising money right through your social media, some of the wrong things to do, some of the right practices to do, right? Because that's still a regulated thing. So I need 100%, whatever. They got into that. It was really, really cool. And to see their journey. A lot of it is really just sharing what they're doing on social media. And that was a huge, I would say, for everybody. And guys, girls, everybody here, the one key is taking action and then doing it consistently. Like that's the recipe to success right there. Like if anybody's like, how do I become successful in whatever you want to do? Like take a lot of action and do it consistently. Right? It's easy to work hard for a couple of days or even a week, but then can you do it 5 months later consistently? That's the key. And I will say the ones who are on stage, the speakers, some of the really awesome people you get to see here, and that's just what it is. So a limiting mind belief is one of the biggest obstacles you run into. It's right between your own ears, what you can tell yourself you can and can't do, guys. But I will tell you, there's walks of all different lives from around the whole world here, all doing something similar, all doing things different too. And to see how successful it is pretty awesome. So there's meetups in your own area. And if there's not, you should create them. But I would definitely recommend, if you're going to be a serious real estate investor, you need to go to the meetups and meet some local people and share with them what you do, right? How can you guys work together? How can you make money together? And all of those things. And that's really the key. So learn how to work a room. And do it for fun, right? Sometimes it's a long day, but you look at some of these guys in here. I know when Jenn had an accidental meeting the first day we got here, and we're talking with Rob from Bigger Pockets podcast, and another gentleman comes over, introduced himself. She says, hi, what do you do? He's like, oh, I lend money for projects and things like that. And then like 20 minutes later, we found out like that's the CEO of Bigger Pockets. And she had no clue, which is cool because He's just a guy doing like really awesome stuff. So when you go to places like this, you never know who's standing next to you. So like make it a practice to be nice and say hi. But it's about your real estate journey and what do you guys want to do. So I will say if you're a fix and flipper, if you're a wholesaler, or if you're buying creative finance, doesn't matter. It's just taking that consistent action, because we see too much on social media about how, I'm buying houses while in my sleep and things like that, which is, don't get me wrong, it's possible, but the reality is like you got to put in the work. So don't always believe all of it what you see. You got to take action, and that's what's really key. And that's the big takeaway, guys. They do one of these events once a year. I would definitely recommend it. I think the tickets, I don't know, about $1,000 a piece, something like that. So plus you got to fly here, hotel, things like that. So you can spend a few $1,000s quickly. But if you come here to meet people and to network, you could 10x that investment, if not further more than that, just by doing 1 or 2 deals, right? I mean, JB comes up to me, is like, hey, like I need deals. Like you got to find some creative finance deals for me because we want to buy more. And I'm like, perfect. Like I will keep you on the top of my buyers list, right? So those are the kind of connections you're going to make. And then we've also had somewhere we're sharing what we do, and they're like, oh my gosh, I ran into a deal that might fit that. Because right now, if you're going to go to the bank and you're trying to buy a house for retail right now and finance it at today's rates, guys, it's almost impossible to find a good deal. It's almost impossible to find a deal that's going to cash flow, right? And there's a lot of investors out there who are just hanging it up because they can't find deals. A lot of wholesalers, I was watching a podcast with the guys who run Investor Lift, and he says between the fourth quarter of last year and the first quarter of this year, they lost 60% of their investors and not renew. They got out of it. And that's a huge thing around the industry since Q4. A lot of investors got out of it because if you're just strategizing on fix and flips and cash deals, those margins get to be really tight right now because sellers still want top dollar, but buyers are buying for less. So when we're able to find these deals, and we're finding more and more and more of them, where a seller will sell us their property, they have it at a 2.9, 2.8, 2.6 rate. I think Lexi's talking to one today. They have a 2.4% rate. And the seller's like, hey, like you could take over this deal. Right. So the sellers are out there knowing that the market is slowing down and they're looking for solutions. And these low cash offers are not going to help them if the house is, pristine. So when I'm looking for a fixer upper and that I want to get at a big discount, what do you do on the nice houses where somebody is really highly motivated to sell? And this is where terms comes in. So one of the common thing is, guys, like if you burr, there's a lot of people here are big on burr. Like they walk around with pins that say burr on them, okay? And all of them are like, yeah, I can't find anything right now that works, like nobody. And so if the market trend continues like this for the next few years, does that mean you just don't buy any real estate for the next few years? You just hit pause in your business, right? So, but the deals are still out there and still able to get rates in the 2s and 3s. It's still cash flow. So if I'm a real estate investor and I'm not giving y'all financial advice, so check with whoever. But for me, what I like is buying cash flowing assets that are nice turnkey houses that have really low interest rates and long terms. But if you could find cash flowing assets at a 2-3% rate at a turnkey house, guys, like there's so much value there. So that's what you're looking for. That's where a lot of the industry is kind of, if you don't know creative finance, they're missing out on that. So this is why we come here live to share what's working. So I have so many people who are currently writing deals just by going into Facebook groups locally where they want to buy, joining garage sale groups, posting that advertisement like we talked about millions of different times. Does anyone have a house for sale that's not market ready? I'm looking to buy one in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And you put that in that Facebook group, you make the background like a cool blue or a pink or whatever, something that stands out nice, and you put it in those garage sale groups and community groups. And they're getting boatloads of leads for free. So if you're listening to this and you're not doing that and trying to buy some houses and you're not getting off-market leads coming to you, you need to start doing that right away. Because I know when I first got started in real estate, every every coach, every other person out there says, great, thanks for signing up for coaching. Now you got to spend thousands of dollars generating leads. You got to go do a mailer. You got to go pull a list. You got to go do this. You're driving for dollars. That's wear and tear on your car, brakes, tires, gas, the whole nine, right? So to be able to advertise in these Facebook groups for free and have them reach out to you is crucial to having your business and your leads. So get real good at that. Our script is right on our website, creativefinanceplaybook.com. And we call it Creative Finance Playbook because there's so many different plays to run with these creative deals. So if a cash offer is not working because they owe too much, I could pay top dollar if the rest of the terms look really good. And I've got one of our clients who just signed up with us probably 2-3 weeks ago, and he's writing up a deal today on a 0% mortgage with a seller. So these deals are out there in abundance. These sellers need help. And if they could get their price, they feel like they've won and they're happy. And if you could get great turns on that deal too, it works out well for everybody. And if real estate's done right, everybody should walk away feeling like they won on that deal. And that's really crucial. So if sellers feel like they've got a great price for their house and they're happy with that, and they're okay with the terms that everybody agrees on, do more of them, right? Do more of those because that's a great deal for everybody involved and they're happy. So just challenge of getting leads. And that's what we talk about. So a lot of cool things. I have to go, guys, because I have a conference to go to in a few minutes. They're going to be talking about some really cool real estate stuff. Joe, Jen, do you have a spreadsheet that you could plug numbers into to know is a good deal or not, or any recommendations? Juliana, we actually have a calculator that we designed. I'll drop it in the group. You guys could use that. It's the one we use. The calculation goes as such, and it's really easy. I figure out my cost of acquisition total, but you might miss things. So we actually have line items of what to put in there, like how much is this, set aside this, right? Because we've done a lot of these creative deals. And then the second side of that equation is what's my payment all in, taxes, insurance, bank, whatever. If there's an HOA, like what is it all in? And then what can I rent that for? And that's going to calculate that spread versus how much cash I need. And that's going to start doing some calculations of obviously total amount of cash to close, what's your rate of return on that, and what's your yearly income. And those are the factors when I'm looking at a deal that makes sense to me. And the killer is when my cost of acquisition is really high, right? Somebody wants 75 grand down, right? Plus closing costs. I like need 90 grand to close deal. I don't want to do that to make 400 bucks a month, 300 bucks a month. It's not worth that. So a lot of the deals we buy is with no money down, because even if I buy the deal with no money down, $100 deposit to the seller just for, making the deal, you still have closing costs and other factors, insurance policy. You're going to have to set aside a few payments. There's going to be some utility bills before you find your renter or rent to own like we do. So we set aside all these things, and we know that if I need, $12,000 to buy this deal, this is why we love rent to own, is because, we get a large non-refundable option deposit back once they do move in. So it's usually a lot more than that. So we have a trick that we've discovered on how to get paid to buy real estate without using banks or your credit and still get super low rates. And that's why we love creative finance, because that's a strategy that can work anywhere at any time. Market goes up, market goes down. Market goes down, or it has some struggles like it is now, it gets to be even more abundant for what we do, because we could help more people, because this is a solution they might not know about. So find cash flowing deals. I will get the link to our calculator and drop it in the group for you guys. It's pretty awesome. Or just, once again, look at the rate of return and what you're doing. Figure out what your threshold is of how much money is your cap. Like for me, if I am all in on a deal and I've got 10 grand, $15,000 or less, if I'm making $400 or $500 a month, like I love those deals. If it's a turnkey house, nice neighborhood, medium neighborhood, semi-sketchy neighborhood. I mean, people got to live in all neighborhoods, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if we could help somebody, that would be great. So that's what we look for, right? And we're able to do a bunch of these every month, and you can too without spending money. So that's my gift. That's my goal for you guys, to get a deal. And if any of y'all need help and you're like, hey, listen, I want to think about maybe taking this more serious, like reach out. I'd love to chat and see what that looks like for you guys and see how we can help you. And that's the goal. is how to help these sellers, how you can get a great deal for yourself and get into cash flowing assets. They have low payments and low rates, and they're nice turnkey houses. So when you buy it, you don't have to go over there with like paint brushes and hammers. And I'm up on a roof, like, nope, you don't want to do any of that stuff if you don't have to. And there's lots of people who have nice houses that want to sell. And you'd be surprised how many we're running into now that it's a year-old house built 1 year ago, and they just built it and they moved and they need to sell it. And it's been sitting in the market for 217 days and it's not sold yet. And they're just frustrated because, they feel like it's not getting enough out there, but I'm like, it's on the market for 217 days, right? So what's wrong? It's usually the price with today's interest rates. It's making it too much of a struggle for people to buy. So how are you going to find those deals? Creative finance. How do you find those leads? You go right into Facebook groups, do it for free. But also go on your own Facebook page, guys, and tell the world who you are and what it is you do. Don't talk about creative finance. Just say, hey, world, I buy houses. If anybody's looking to sell their house, I'd love to chat. Right? And if you know somebody's looking to sell their house, I pay $1,000 for referrals that I buy. That's easy to do. Not hard to do. Oh, look at it. We got you coming in. Nice. And just sharing what it is on your own personal Facebook page, guys. And I will tell you, that was what helped us get a lot of traction, was just sharing what we did. And I owe that to my wife. That's why she's probably turning the camera on. But it's completely true, because at first I was so busy working my day job and actually doing the real estate stuff too. I didn't think about having even a second to share what we were doing. And she had the eye to hear what we did, starting back in 2016, 17. And wow, ever since. So if you're looking to attract sellers and working with buyers, friends request people, talk about who you are and what it is on your own Facebook page. Join Facebook groups, post that ad in there for free, like we talked about. Sellers reach out to you. What do I do next, Joe? Well, you go to our website, creativefinanceplaybook.com. Our script is right on there. Just go download that. And those are the 10 questions we ask sellers when the seller's reaching out to us on Facebook. We do all 10 of those questions through Messenger. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, guys. And once they've answered all 10 of those questions, that gives you an idea of what you're working with. I will tell everybody, if you want to learn a lesson that my coach taught us a long time ago, is when there's something like a script like this that works really well, and we've been using it for years, don't go and change it. Just use that script. If the seller asks a question, there's the rebuttal, just copy and paste. We have folks who work for us in other countries who do that, and all they do is they just message the script and they just copy and paste. And we get 75% of our folks who reach out to us go through the script. Sometimes it's as low as 50%. So if you're between 50 to 75%, make it through that script, that's fine. That's a good range. And then when they get through the script, our sellers will give you the offer, cash or creative finance. And now you only get on the phone with the nice ones, right? That say like, some of you could help. And if you could generate a good 2 dozen leads a week for free, guys, it's only a few months before you find a deal, like a legit, like solid deal, if you just put a little bit of work in. So we give away the recipe for free because I was lucky enough to get it for free from when my friend bought a course on television years ago, 23 years ago, and I was young and broke, and he bought it, never opened it. I borrowed it and had a deal under contract. A month later, I made $15,000. So I cracked into it for free. So this is why I'm dropping, guys, what's currently working for free. And there wasn't any YouTube or Facebook back then. So it's a lot easier now. If you can't do it now, you're never going to do it. It's literally that easy right now. So share what's working, guys. And if you have a deal, those are the factors. We'll drop. Hey, Hun, can you make sure that we drop the calculator? Or I could just text Abby, I guess. I'll do that. We'll drop it right in there for you guys. Just go to our Facebook page or our Facebook group, Creative Finance Playbook with Jenn and Joe. And we'll drop that in the link there for you guys. So those are how we analyze deals. That's what we look for when we're making the deals. Have the sellers reach out to you. It's the best conversation to have. No more cold calling. Because if any of you had a cold call, you'll notice that really is tough. And people, you'll make deals. Don't get me wrong, it works. I know everything works. Door knocking works, but I don't want to be knocking on people's doors. And I could do this from the comfort of my own home, my fingertips working, right? That's a lot more convenient because I could just do that anywhere I'm at. So use technology, let technology work for you. And it's grand. So that's my shares and my wins today. Go to meetups. Bigger Pockets is awesome. Meetup has been incredible. Connections galore, meeting new connections galore, just even like the relationships, not even just connections, like the people. And that's what's really cool. And start generating leads. And we were telling you how to do that for free. Ask them the questions. Our script are on there. Don't change it. Keep that the same. Sellers give you the offers. Find the good ones. Use the calculator if you want it. We'll drop that on there for you guys. And hopefully y'all get a deal. All right. It's the fourth quarter of the year. This is when real estate typically slows down the most. If anybody's in a situation where they have to sell because they've already moved away and they're making 2 mortgage payments, or they have an empty house and they live out of town, like these are all high motivated people who need to sell. And if they're going into the slower time, you can offer a quick, easy solution. And that's what people want when they're selling their house. Trust me, you want it done quick and easy. So if you could offer that as a solution or as a benefit and make it a win for everybody, guys, why wouldn't they do business with you? So it's what you expect. So I think those are my shares, guys. So keep your eyes peeled in our Creative Finance Playbook group for the calculator. If a house has been sitting on the market for 135 days, you contact the agent or wait until it expires. I'm still going to contact the agent, especially in Florida. Some of these agents down here have like year-long agreement with these sellers. They're locked in for a year. And I've got one right now. She's almost 300 days in. You guys have been hearing about this deal since the beginning of this year. Okay. And this realtor still letting these people not sell their house because she doesn't want to bring them terms. So, oh, we got Jackson yet. Saved 4 hours today. Oh yeah, absolutely. And when the seller, I'm going to give you one more tip. Thank you for bringing that up, Jackson. When the seller says, hey, Rozzy or Tom, Juliana, why don't you come over to my house and we could talk about it? I will tell you what, Jenn and Joe used to get right up in that car and go over there and drive an hour there, spend an hour walking through some strange house. I didn't know what the heck. I mean, there could have been, you never know what's going on. You know, people are just people. Okay. Let's just say that. And there's a lot of great people we met too. But there's been some situations where I really wish we didn't have to go into. So with that being the case, I always let the seller know that, yes, I'd love to come out and I can't wait to come see the property, but let's make sure that we at least agree on some initial terms first. And if you like what you hear and I like what I hear, I'll be there in an hour, right? Or whenever you're ready. So I don't go to their house unless we've already tentatively agreed on the terms and they're ready to move forward. If not, you're wasting your time. And what Jackson said, I just saved 4 hours of his life today. So I was like, don't go over there. Not till you guys agreed tentatively on what the terms are. You get there and he's like, I'll do it with like 90% down. You're like, oh man, I just wasted an hour driving here. Right? Hour driving back, plus you guys spend time at the house. Awkward conversations sometimes. So just save yourself some of your own time because we don't have a limited time. So, all right, guys. And then keep rocking. Next week, we're gonna be back in office, back in Tampa, and we got some more cool wins we're gonna share. And then obviously, if you guys have any questions too, make sure we do that weekly question, like what creative finance questions you have, and we'd love to answer them live. If you've got any too, make sure that you bring them. And that's our goal, once again, is to just give, and share what's working currently, share some of this really cool stuff that's right behind me. And then obviously, like I said, if you want to do some deals, they're out there, go get them. All right. We're giving the train there. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye, guys.